Welcome to the Sim Podcast Show. I'm your co-host Eric, and I'm always joined by my co-host Ron. What up, Ron?
What's going on?
You know what we do? We talk about the National Football League on a weekly basis, including the playoffs. Ron, this is episode 134. We are kind of halfway. This is week 8, so we're halfway there, almost, kinda. Your team lost. Patriots are rolling. How are you feeling?
Disappointed about this week. Today is Tuesday, right? That we're recording. So, 5 days have passed by since last week, Thursday. So, starting to get over it a little bit. Moving on to Green Bay. We're in good position, so I'm not going to stay disappointed too long.
Yeah. So, last week when I asked you, hey, why was such a big deal about the Flacco? I didn't know that was going to happen. That he was going to put up over 300 yards on supposedly the best defense league, at least the most expensive. So what took place? Because I was kind of shell shocked, to be honest.
They just didn't show up. They don't show up on Thursday night games with short rests. I think Tomlin is 0-6 or 0-7 against AFC North teams on Thursday night. Most coaches, on Thursday night, especially on the road, they don't play well. So it's not, that part's not really a surprise. But he, for whatever reason, he just can't get the team motivated. They came out, nonchalant, waiting for other guys to make a play, and no one really stepped up on defense. Offensively, they played pretty well. Rodgers had a couple turnovers, but I thought he played really well. We ran the ball well, but defensively, no one showed up. They were just like, it was like a holiday week in the office, basically, where no work is getting done. That's kind of how the attitude I think they took when they took the field on Thursday.
And, I'm looking at the standings right now, and that was the semi-important game because now the Bengals are 2-0 in the division.
Yeah, we had a chance to put some distance between us and them, and, we didn't take advantage of that opportunity. The Bengals are still in it. Even Cleveland at 2-5, they're in it. I wouldn't count Baltimore completely out yet. Still a lot of games left to play. They got a big hurdle to climb for sure. But we had our chance to put some distance. Didn't do that. We reap what we sow. We just got to move on. Keep going.
But the Browns are 0-3 in the division. I don't know if you can say that they are in it. The Ravens are technically undefeated in the division, so it's not like, I know they have a lot of losses, but it's not like hurting them in the division.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's still a lot of game left. If they can get on a winning streak, and they probably need to sweep some of these divisional games for sure. But there's a chance, just like Cincinnati had a chance last year. They're not completely out of it yet. Just got to get healthy, get their defense playing better, even though they were healthy. But it's a long shot, but we'll see how things go. Pittsburgh have been known to collapse. Cincinnati, how much do you trust Flacco to keep that up? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. What's on the agenda tonight? We're gonna have some NFL news. We're gonna review last week's games. We're gonna have our power rankings. We're gonna have our game predictions for week number 8, our team's predictions, and then we're gonna end it up with our own QB lists for the mid-season. And this is a little bit twist because I know last season we just did young quarterbacks, but this year we're doing just what QB you would want as in no particular order. These are just top 10 QBs. And let's look at the news, Ron. We last night saw the Tampa Bay Detroit game, and then we saw Mike Evans going down. Does that mean that the season's over for Tampa Bay?
Not at all. They've played without him before. Now, this would be the longest stretch that they've had to go, but they got a lot of talent on that team. I know they lost, yesterday to Detroit. They didn't look good. Mayfield was off his game for sure. It was a little bit of a surprise how poorly he played, but they got lots of talent, loads of weapons at the receiver position. Bucky Irvin probably will be healthy next week or in the next couple weeks or so. He'll be back there. They got a good tight end. I think they'll be fine. And they'll be good if they can, continue, winning a few games, get in the playoffs. I think Evans will be back in time, for when the playoffs start. So it's not like a death sentence for them at all. I think they're still in it. But Baker, I don't know what's going on. He might be hurt. I'm not making excuses for him, but that just didn't look like he missed way too many throws that I haven't seen him miss this season at all.
So do you think that this is going to hurt his MVP campaign last night's game?
No, he's still, I think I would still put him at number one in terms of like the MVP race. Anything can happen though the rest of the year though, right? So it's just takes a couple of games for somebody else to ball out and catch up. I'd imagine like Mahomes at this point now having 3 or 4 wins at this point is probably back in the MVP conversation. So it's not going to be, it's going to be easy for others to catch up. But I think he's still the front runner.
See, I think otherwise. I think Daniel Jones maybe have the lead now. I think that Indiana Colts offense is just, pumping at all gears. It's just unstoppable. At least, they keep scoring 30 points a game. They're going to be all right. The other thing I wanted to mention was Doug Martin's death. I know it was sudden, but then details are coming out. And now we're hearing that he was under custody by the Oakland police. So I know this is early in the investigation, but does it make sound shady a little bit, or do you think we're just jumping to conclusion?
We had the same conversation 2 weeks ago about whether or not you can trust the police department. And so I'm not going to give them any benefit of the doubt. It's a situation where he was having a mental health crisis. The family called the police because that's what people do, right? In those situations, that's what they panic and that's what they do. I don't think it's the right department to call, but they felt like they had no choice in. Once he's in their custody, they're supposed to be responsible for his life. And I don't know what happened. I can't speak to any details because nothing's been released. But, typically they would, try to work with him to get him into a mental health facility. I don't know what happened, but he ended up dying in their care. So that is suspicious to me. But I'll hold off on making any judgment at this point until I get more details.
I just feel like when something like this happens, the longer that they keep information, the worse it seems like. Because I guess we know that the police are not trained to deal with, someone that's having a mental breakdown, but I just feel like why aren't this stuff just coming out? I know that it's not public. It's not like Florida. They have different laws when it comes to public information. But I don't know. It's something to me. It's fishy. The more the delay the information, the more you said asking more questions. And it goes back to
there's only transparency when the police department feels like they did anything wrong. When they don't do anything wrong, total transparency. Happens here in Orlando. I follow, OPS on Twitter and stuff. They're constantly showing videos of any time that there's an officer involved shooting. They release those immediately if there's nothing shady about it. But it's when there's questions, right? when there's stuff that's not adding up is when they tend to like hold back on providing any evidence, because I think, they try to protect themselves. Like CYAs, cover your ass, make sure, you can't get sued. Your folks didn't do anything wrong. They have an obligation too to protect their own, right? But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's more details to come, I guess. Tyler Lockett got released. I guess he asked for a release from the Tennessee Titans. Does he still have juice left? Like, why would you pick him up? Like, what? Do you have to be desperate to get him? Like, what? Because I feel like he already had his best days in the past. Mm-hmm. Why is it a big deal is what I'm asking. Why should we care?
I don't know if we do. I think the media will look for news. Certain fan bases will look for news, right? And look for any player that gets cut, or anyone that's out there on the market to be traded, if they feel like they have a need. Obviously, definitely the Pittsburgh fans are like, oh, you can hear him right back up with DK Metcalf again. But, to your point, his best days are gone. That's why Seattle let him go, right? Because they realize how good the other receivers are, the younger receivers that are on their team. They felt comfortable letting go of Metcalf and letting go of Lockett, and moving on. And they're sitting in first place right now. So I don't know what Lockett has left, but I don't think it would be a huge pickup for any team if he signs it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's just like because it was a Tuesday, maybe that was the only news that they had. But I was just like, I was not impressed. And then, people right away, oh, he should be picked up by the Steelers. Oh, he should be picked up by the Patriots. The Patriots are now.
How many receivers? The Patriots have
it's like
50 receivers on that team.
We already have 2 receivers that don't get any play. Why would we pick up a third one? It's just sometimes.
And I don't even understand. Like, people were saying, oh, Steelers need a second receiver. I'm like, for what? Right? Alvin Austin was our second receiver. He has like 10 catches in the entire season, 4 games as a number 2. Right? And we have Roman Wilson, who finally got some playing time this past week. Got out on the field. Why would you want to bury him? Right? He's your second-year player. What's the number 2 going to come in and do in its Arthur Smith system? Guy uses like 4 tight ends every game. I don't understand. There's just not enough targets to go around, for teams to have 2 great receivers. If you take out, Cincinnati and what they're doing, and you see because of what they're doing, how bad their defense is, right? And then you got like Detroit that has some good receivers there too. But, some of those guys, a lot of those guys, I think are on their rookie contract still. So it's not like you had to pay them. I just don't understand what the big deal is. I've seen Kansas City win with players like Juju, and other lower tier receivers. I just don't understand the need to go out and get someone like Lockett. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And I don't get this next one that we were like, what? So Woody Johnson, I don't know. I guess somebody stuck a microphone in it and asked him about Justin Fields. And he gave his opinion, I guess. Listen, why do you have to comment on this stuff when you're you're just adding fuel to the fire?
Yeah.
Also, why do that? Why make things worse than they already are? It's like wasn't he going to have this conversation with Aaron Glenn in private anyway? So what's going on?
Yeah, he threw him under the bus. This guy that you just went out and signed this huge contract. You basically say you say it's hard to win games with your quarterback playing the way he is. Well, it's your coaches who are supposed to be developing him, right? So, are you holding your coaches accountable as well? And at the same time, I saw, Fields had some comments too that I'm like, there's no one in your ear telling you what you should say and what you shouldn't say. He his comments were basically deflecting blame and not taking any accountability for his play, right? And he's making it seem like I'm just going to keep my head down and like focus. I'm looking at it for his comment right now. He said, "They benched me to find a spark. Cool. Just remember, you can't light a fire without real fuel. I've carried worse, and I'm still standing. You figure out the drama. I'll stay focused on the destiny." What drama? You're part of the drama. You're the one who's been performing terribly. You're the reason they had to go, to Tyrod Taylor. So take some accountability. I didn't like the way he responded to it. And I certainly don't like, what he said either. I think that is just like completely dysfunctional.
It's like
business.
It's like two bubbles. It's like two different worlds. Like Justin Fields' world and then like Woody Johnson's world. It's like, what are you guys doing right now?
Yeah.
So dysfunctional.
Well, Woody and Rodgers got along real well, right? They were connected at the hip until they weren't. Until he was like, you weren't good enough, and he moved on. Threw Rodgers under the bus. So that's what they do. That's what owners do, and that's fine. But I wouldn't have done it. I don't think great owners, like Pittsburgh Steelers owners, not going to throw any players under the bus like that at all. I think when you have like good franchises that have, consistently win and stuff like that, they don't do things like that. They don't make those type of statements. It's only the teams that don't have any success, don't know how to win at all, that you have owners that are like that, sort of top down. It really is.
Well, that's the thing about being an NFL owner is that, yes, they may be successful in their business enterprise, but to buy a team, it wasn't like they needed to pass a certain test or pass a bar or anything. They just had the money and they bought it. So there's, like, that's what I mean. Like, interjecting yourself into matters that you have absolutely no business talking on and whatever.
Right.
It's like, you're just an owner. You're just somebody who's there for finance. You don't know how football happens. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. Let's talk about last week, Ron. We both tied 10-10 with that victory. So you still have an 8-point lead, 63-55. Were there any, and we'll talk about our teams, but were there any other games that you were like, what's going on here?
Oh, there were some great games, right? Some crazy performances yesterday. And this weekend, I guess the biggest one being the Giants. And I don't know if you got the chance to watch, but that was like a hot mess at the end.
What was that? I don't know what I was cleaning up throw up. That's what I was. It was like The Exorcist here this weekend.
Gotcha.
But I checked the scores. I was like, oh, the Giants are winning. Good for them. Oh, I think they were up like 19-0 in the third quarter or something like that. And then I quickly glanced and it was like 26-23. Denver was winning or something. I was like, what's going on? Then I saw Giants winning and I was like, oh, game is probably going to be over. Then I saw the text that you were sending and I was like, what just happened?
33 points in the fourth quarter is what happened. Absolute collapse is what happened. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like it. They were down double digits, with less than 5 minutes left at one point. And they still, their defense was just played poorly. It's just horrible. And then you had Dart making the interception. You had the field goal kicker missing the extra point. It was like the perfect storm. And, it was just like a hot mess. I don't want to say it's bad luck. But I gotta imagine that Dable is not going to make it at the end of the season. He's going to be fired. no matter what happens, because Darth's come in and he's been okay, right? He hasn't been great. His passing percentage has been horrific, to be honest with you. But he's making some splash plays. He's scoring a lot. Fans seem to like that, but they're not winning, so I don't know. And some of the losses are so bad. I don't understand. I don't think there's no way that they can actually keep him at the end of the year.
Well, what are they? 2-4 now, 2-5. I think it's their record, and
2-5, yeah.
2-5, and Jackson Dart. I don't know if he was inserted to save Dable from being fired, or he really believed he needed development. I don't know what it was, but I don't think that having Jackson Dart is enough. That team is it's a mess.
Yeah. We got the Eagles this week too, and you don't think the Eagles want revenge on what happened to them last week? This could be like a real beatdown this week.
The only other game that it was a head scratcher to me was the Atlanta San Francisco game, because when you look at the stats, it's not like Mac Jones was lighting it up with his stats. I know McCaffrey kind of took over, but what? Only 10 points for Atlanta? What's going on?
Yeah, trust their defense is great, number one in the league. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, but you can't trust that offense. Penix, I don't know what to say. He's not playing that well. I don't know if he's the future of the franchise. I think it's still too early. Don't get me wrong, to make any final decisions on him. I think he still has a lot of games to play before you can make that determination. But offensively, there's not a lot of options. Take Bijan out of the equation. They need an upgraded receiver. They need probably some better tight ends too. Pitts has been okay, but I think they're 2 or 3 years away from being relevant. Just being honest.
Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. Because I thought that they were really gonna make that jump this year, but I guess I was wrong. Did you watch any of the Seattle Houston game?
I watched maybe the first quarter, and then I was like, okay, it's way too late. Turn this off. I can't stay up to watch it, so didn't get to watch it.
I barely got to finish the Tampa Bay Detroit game, and I was damn sure I was not going to stay up for the Houston Seattle game on a Monday night. I was like, whose idea was it? This should never happen. I know that maybe people living on the West Coast, it was a 7:00 start, but come on, this is terrible.
Way too late. Yeah,
way too late. Let's talk about our teams, Ron. Let's start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know it was a while ago, but Thursday night, I wasn't shocked that they scored 31 points. I was just shocked that the defense gave up 33 points. So what happened? I know that you talked about Tomlin not having a good record, but why did Flacco come in? Doesn't even know the offense that well, and he was just able to score that many points.
Well, part of it is listen, you got Chase and Higgins, to throw to. So that part, you got great weapons, right? It's not like you were, when you're playing for the Browns and throwing to nobody.
Well, Chase Brown had 108 yards rushing.
Yeah.
So you can't say it was just Chase and Higgins.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's just Chase and Higgins. You asked about Flacco and how he could succeed. Flacco's a NFL veteran quarterback who has a great arm and isn't scared to throw it, right? He knows how to read, the zone defense. He's good with timing and stuff like that. And again, when you're throwing to Jamar Chase, and Higgins, it's much easier than if you're dealing with like a roster like the Browns. Now for the Steelers and their defense, right? They didn't show up. I don't know what else to say. They just didn't show up. They didn't play. None of their starters played well at all on defense. And I'm talking about the stars, like TJ was irrelevant. Hayward was irrelevant. So if you're sitting back on a Thursday, you're like, oh, it's a short week. I just kind of want to go through the motions, get this game over with. Not really in the mood. Trying to let somebody else make the play. That's what happens. You're playing NFL caliber team with great players. You're going to lose those games if you don't go out and play with your full effort. And I don't think, just based on what I saw like the week prior to how they played, when they came out and said, okay, we're going to put it, to this team versus like this. I think it's just a matter of like poor effort. That's what it comes down to. And it's no different, like I said, than like corporate America. You go work in a corporate office and you see what the environment looks like in a holiday week, right? Ain't nobody working on a holiday week. It's like hard to keep folks motivated. But that's what we hold Tomlin accountable for. He's the guy who everyone says is like a player's coach and he can get people fired up and stuff like that. Well, he can't. He's proved he can't. The numbers show he hasn't been able to, on Thursday nights, especially on the road. So, players have to like have some sort of accountability for themselves as well. And unfortunately, no one on defense decided to like give any effort whatsoever.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I mean, 2 sacks for the Steelers. I think they had 6 the week before. It's just a big jump for results. Although I did like the fact that Jalen Warren had 127 yards rushing, but it was the Bengals. Yeah, like I said,
offensively we played much better. Started finally using the middle of the field. Arthur Smith finally started to use like Freiermuth in the passing game. So he had a big game. All the stuff that that they're capable of doing. They've been getting better at the basics, right? The fundamentals, blocking, pass protection, run blocking, all that stuff. I think offensively it's coming together. I think you'll see the offense get better as the year goes on. Rodgers is having a great year, quietly having a really outstanding year. So I think they just need to keep that going.
I'll get my before it goes dead. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the Patriots win again. This is gonna be what, their 4th game in a row? 5th game in a row. I don't like, I'll tell you right now, Ron, I don't like this MVP talk for Drake. I don't like it at all.
What MVP talk?
There's a lot of MVP talk, whether it's ESPN, whether it's...
Where have you heard anyone on ESPN talk about Drake May as MVP?
Woody. Damian Woody.
Woody who?
Damian Woody, the center for the Jets.
Got to be kidding.
He's still on ESPN, and he's talking about Drake May MVP. I mean, I can expect from Teddy Bruschi because he's a homer, but even
Woody's a little bit of a homer too, I guess.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a homer, but I would think he would lean more to the Jets side. I think that Drake May is playing great, but we're talking about Tennessee here. We're talking about, Carolina. We're talking about all those other terrible teams, the Saints.
Right.
Let's pump the brakes on that stuff. Let's wait until, because this right now, what we're talking about really bad competition this year. Really bad competition. I think that there's going to be enough games. I think this team can make the playoffs, but let's pump the brakes on the MVP.
Yeah, it's not to say he's not having a good year and it's made some improvement, which is what you wanted to see for last year. He's doing some great things. They got a lot to hold on. But, pump the brakes on the MVP talk.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I don't like the fact that I feel like he keeps getting a concussion almost like every 3 or 4 games, and it's not diagnosed where he has to not too alike, but he does hit his head quite a bit. So that's my only worrisome with him. It's like, yes, but maybe you should slide instead of running. That's my only downside, because I think this week, against Tennessee, Ramondre Stevenson really focused on running, and he was this close. Well, 88 yards. It was pretty close to, getting 100 yards, but it was Tennessee, and they're not a good team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this week will be a little bit more of a challenge. We'll talk about this week in a little bit. But Cleveland's defense is, we'll see. They can be like wishy-washy too. Like some games they show up, and then you have games where this dude is invincible. Zero. Like when we play Cleveland, Garrett, I think didn't even get one tackle or some crap like that. He just disappeared. So, but that's Cleveland. That's the Browns for you. Sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, this is a good barometer as far as defenses are concerned, because after that Browns, the Buccaneers have a pretty good defense, but maybe the Giants. Mm-hmm. We already know the Ravens don't have a good defense. Neither do the Bills. So this is a good test for Drake May and company. But I no more MVP talk. Let's pump the brakes on that. Ron, who is in your power rankings for this week?
Yeah, so I actually have same teams in my top 10. I didn't change any new teams in or out. So I got Detroit at number 1, Indy at number 2, Seattle I moved to 3. I got Tampa with their loss falling to 4. I think they were number 1 last week. Green Bay I have at 5, Philly at number 6, Kansas City at number 7. I got the Rams at number 8. Buffalo, I know they had the bye week. I got them at number 9, and then Pittsburgh, I dropped them down to number 10.
Yeah, I dropped Pittsburgh to number 10 too, and I wanna say that last week I did not have Detroit in my top 10. That was a miscue on my part. Does not mean that having Detroit as number 1 I should have seen it coming. I don't know how I missed it, but I have them as number 1. I have Indy as number 2. I have Green Bay at number 3. I have the Rams at 4. KC at number 5. Seattle at number 6. I have Denver at number 7. I have Philly at number 8. Actually, you know what? Because I just looked at my list and I don't have New England. They won. So I'm actually going to replace Denver with New England. Because to be honest with you, I wasn't impressed with that Denver win over the Giants. It was more like the Giants collapsed than Denver actually doing things.
Right.
So I'm going to put New England at number 7, Philadelphia at number 8, Tampa Bay at number 9, and Pittsburgh at number 10. So I made a correction with Detroit fans. That was my fault. I overlooked, and they really played a good game last night. I was thoroughly impressed because they almost all their secondary is on the injury list, right?
Yeah, they played good. They I think benefited from a lot of what I would say suspicious
very
calls.
Suspicious.
But they did what they needed to do on their end offensively, and I think defensively. Like I said, Baker missed some throws. There were definitely some throws that he could have made. I've seen him make that would have been touchdowns that he missed. But they did what they needed to do to win. That's all that matters. So we know that they're a top 5 team in the NFL. There's no doubt about that. Now they're starting to really put it together and play like it.
Ron, let's talk about the game predictions for week number 8. And let's start with the Thursday night game. The Vikings at the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3.5. 44.5 is the over and under. Ron, who'd you go with?
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's a Thursday night game. I don't trust Minnesota. With Carson Wentz, they don't feel like their quarterback McCarthy's ready. And then the Chargers on their end, they can't run the ball, right? They don't have their running backs. Their offensive line got a lot of question marks, but Herbert's playing well. He's throwing the ball around all over the place. So I'm going with the quarterback I trust most. So I'm picking the Chargers to win this one.
Yeah, this was a hard one too because I don't like Carson Wentz, but then I don't like the fact that the Chargers cannot score. I feel like all their games are 20 points and below, except for that first game. I just don't know about them. And not that I like Carson Wentz, but at least he has good weapons, right? Whether it's through the air or running the ball. So I went with Minnesota, but I'm not, it's not my upset special. Let's say that. Sunday, the Dolphins at the Falcons. This is the Dysfunctional Bowl Part 2. Atlanta's favored by 7.5. 44.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
When Atlanta's getting 7.5, that's insane. But that goes to show you the dysfunction on the Dolphins. And I'm going to take Atlanta to win this one. There's no way I can bet on the Dolphins to win any games the rest of the season. I don't care who they're playing. Give me Atlanta win this one.
As long as Mike McDaniel is in charge over there, I'm going to go against. I got Atlanta winning this game. 7.5 points sounds about right, to be honest. But let's see what Michael Penix does against his Dolphins team. The next game is the winless Jets at the Bengals. Bengals are favored by 6.5. 44.5 is the over and under. Ron, who's your pick?
Yeah, I'm going with Cincinnati here. I was tempted to take the Jets because I see that they're making the move to Tyrod Taylor. I assume he's going to get a full week of practice this week and not be inserted in the middle of the game. So I think they're offensively, they'll play a lot better. But, I think Cincinnati with Flacco, I don't think they'll put up 30-something points like they did against the Steelers, but I think they'll do enough to win this game.
I got Cincinnati winning this game. I know that this is not a divisional game, but the Jets, they're still getting penalties. They're still making dumb plays with or without Tyrod Taylor. I just don't see it. Give me Cincinnati to win this game. Staying with the New York, the Giants at the Eagles. Eagles are favored by 7.5. 44.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, Philly remembers what happened a couple weeks ago, and they want their revenge. They're going to put a beat down, I think, on the Giants and win pretty easily. Give me Philly to win. And this is going to be the beginning of the end, I think, for Dayball, the Giants.
Do you think that he's a mid-season firing, or they'll wait till the end?
I think they'll wait till the end. But I think they're going to hit like a really, really bad rough patch and put together a string of losses here. I think Dart, his play will regress a little bit. So I think there's going to be a lot of noise, from the fans and the media and everyone else. So I think it's the beginning of the end for them.
Yeah, because there's, as the season progresses, there's going to be more and more tape on Jackson Dart, his tendencies, what he this is going to show towards the end of the season. I think, that loss against Denver is gonna reverberate all over. The next game, Bills at Panthers. Bills are favored by 7.5. 44.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, Buffalo coming off a bye week. They're going to look to right the ship here, and they should win pretty easily.
Yeah, I got Buffalo winning this game and going over the 7.5. I think. The next game, Bears at Ravens. 6.5. Baltimore is favored. 49.5 is the over and under. And I'm pretty sure Lamar is not playing this game, right?
I don't know. I think that's going to be the $1 million question because they had, well, it was Monday yesterday, but from what I understood, if it was to have been a practice, he would not have practiced yesterday. So I feel like it's still kind of up in the air. And if he doesn't play, I don't think they have a chance. So I'm going to take Chicago. I think they'll be able to score on Baltimore. I need to see what their defense looks like since the bye week. So give me Chicago to win this one.
If Lamar doesn't play, I think I want Chicago on this one. If he ends up playing, I would have taken Baltimore, but they have 2 weeks to prepare for this game. I think the defense is going to be a little bit better. I mean, not like, not by giant steps better, but I think they'll be a little bit better. But with no Lamar, give me Chicago on this game. The next game is 49ers at Texans. For some reason, they got Houston favored by 1.5. 41.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
I'm taking San Fran. Houston looks terrible. I don't know what else to say. Like, defense is good again, but quarterback play has not been good. They haven't been able to run the ball well at all. Give me San Fran to win this one.
I'm going the other way. I know Houston's offense looks terrible, and I don't know. I don't know how San Francisco is doing it, to be honest, because half the team is in the IR, and then they have Mac Jones.
That's coaching.
Well, if it is coaching, then it's a lot of trickery. Because would you pick San Francisco in the playoffs against the Rams or against Seattle? The way that
yes,
you would.
If they were healthy, yeah.
No. Right now, I'm talking about the way it is with the injuries and no Brock Purdy.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you talk about teams like built in a house of cards. Like, I feel like this team, I don't know how they keep winning, but yeah, give me Houston to win this game. And I'm probably gonna be wrong about it, but give me Houston. The next game, we'll skip a couple games. The next game is Titans versus Colts. This doesn't even seem fair. This is the highest spread of the week. 14.5 for Indy. 47.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
I'm taking Indy to win this one. I don't know if they'll cover that 14.5, but I'll take Indy to win.
I'll take Indy, and I think that they will cover that 14. The way that Tyler Warren is playing, the way that Daniel Jones is playing, the way that Jonathan Taylor is playing, I mean, if they show up that defense, look out, man. That's all I have to say. It's just like, I don't know. This dude is playing out of his mind. I don't know how else to put it. You leave New York, and all of a sudden you have success. It's just...
Yeah, but I'm going to go over the teams again that they've beaten. The Dolphins, the Broncos, the Titans, the Raiders, the Cardinals, and now the Chargers, the wounded Chargers.
And now another bad team they're going to face.
Right.
So it's like, yes, their schedule is pretty easy, but they're blowing team off the water. And especially if you're a bad team, they're really blowing you off the water. So yeah, I think they're going to surpass that at 14.5. The next game is Monday night game. Commanders at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 10.5. 47.5 is the spread. Ron, what's your prediction?
I'm taking the Chiefs. Jaden Daniels hurt now. Don't know how long he's out. They were struggling, with or without him, regardless. Give me KC to win this one, and I think they'll cover that 10.5 point spread.
Yeah, I think give me the Chiefs too. I think that this is a home game, and the weapons, you got the Street Rice back. The defense is shipping out the way that Magnolia likes it. So give me the Chiefs. And did you say no Jaden Daniels again?
Potentially, yeah. He got hurt, looked pretty seriously. So I'm guessing that he will not play next week.
Yeah, give me Kansas City to win this game. Let's talk about our team, Ron. Let's start with Cleveland at New England. New England is favored at 7.5. 40.5 is a point total. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, like I said, Cleveland can be a team that can give you trouble, but it depends on which version of Cleveland shows up, and I don't trust that they will show up this week. So I got the Patriots winning 24-17.
Yeah, I have the same score, 24-17. To be honest, this is going to be like a barometer for Drake May and all the MVP talk and all that. This team is focused. Like, this is a real game. I know that Cleveland is only like, at half, great defense, so offense, but, they can run the ball. I don't know if Dylan Gabriel is going to be great, but, look at Tennessee. We thought that Ward, they took a lead early in the game, and then the real Ward showed up. Is it going to be the same with Dylan Gabriel? I don't know, but I have them winning 24-17. The next game, Green Bay at Pittsburgh. Green Bay is favored by 3.5. 44.5 is the spread. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I'm going Pitt. I think they'll continue on the track that they're rolling with right now. And I know the Green Bay has a really good defense, much better than the Bengals, but I think they'll score points. So I think they'll look to get back on track here. They're pissed off that they lost, as they should be, the way they played. And I see them winning, and I think they can win pretty easily. Give me Pittsburgh 30-20. This is a team that when they're locked in, they're locked in. When they're not, then they lose to teams like the Bengals and the Browns. But they'll be locked in this week.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a cakewalk. I got them still winning 24-21. I think it's going to be a closer game because the defense is a little bit better. Well, a lot better than the Bengals. I just think that it's going to be a little bit closer. Although I was shocked to see Aaron Rodgers come out of the pocket, find people that are open, kind of extend the play. I was happy for him. I was like, he got some wheels still at age 40. I mean, he didn't run the ball straight ahead. He knew better, but at least he extended some plays. And I don't know if he'll be able to do that against Micah Parsons, but, pretty good. I got them winning 24-21. Ron, what's your upset special?
Yeah, I went with the Saints against Tampa. Divisional game, Saints always seem to play Tampa well. Mike Evans is not playing, and I think New Orleans with Rattler, he's playing pretty decent. I don't know, like I said, what's going on with Mayfield. I don't know if that's going to continue into this week, but giving New Orleans to win 26-24.
Yeah, I was going to agree with you on that game, but then I was like, if Baker Mayfield has back-to-back bad games, his MVP campaign is over. There's no way somebody else is going to surpass him. And, it looks like Patrick Mahomes is the odds-on favorite to do that. I think he has to have a good game, so I think Tampa Bay will win this game. My upset special, and we just talked about Denver, just getting lucky with that game. So I have Dallas, who is probably has like the funnest offense in the league, probably next to Indy. I have them beating Denver 28-21. And I think they might put up more points than that. I just don't see Denver, against maybe Dallas defense is not as good as the Giants, but I don't think that they're going to, put up much resistance. I have Dallas winning just because their offense, Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott is really like locked in for some reason. I think Dallas can win this one. And believe me, I'm not a Dallas fan at all. I just think that their offense is really, really good. Whatever Schottenheimer is doing is working.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna end the show with our QB list for the Sim podcast show. And these are just 10 guys right now who you would look at and be like, oh, you know what? I like to have that guy on my team. And I'm not saying that your current QB is bad, but it's okay to look. Just can't order out the menu, but it's okay to look. So Ron, who's on your QB list right now?
Yeah, and just the level set, right? We took any guys that are injured. We're not including them. So there's no Lamar on this list. Who else are we missing for injuries?
Joe Burrow. No Joe
Burrow. Right. So those guys aren't on here. We're just looking at the guys that are playing, basically, and saying, okay, who would you want on your team? So for me, it's first one's easy. I just love, the way this guy plays. He might not be the best, doesn't have the strongest arm, isn't the fastest runner, the biggest guy, but he has the best attitude, and that's Baker Mayfield. I'll take him in a heartbeat. As my quarterback, I love him. I love what he's about. I think he's a great leader, great competitor. So I would take him in a heartbeat as number one. Number two, obviously, Mahomes. To me, I think he's one of the best. Might not be having his best season, but when the game's on the line, when it really matters, I don't think there's anyone you could trust more than Mahomes to make a play. So give me him at number two. Josh Allen at number three. Still think he's one of the, best players in the league, hands down. Player for player, I think he, as far as arm talent, his ability to run, everything else, he's probably number one in terms of what he can do on the field. So I got him at number three. I got Josh Herbert at number four. Quietly having a really good season. I think he's leading the league in yards, right? In passing yards this season. I thought he looked really good at the beginning of the season. I kind of stopped watching him a little bit, but I know they're losing, but he's playing well. And to me, they still they have some weapons, don't get me wrong, but they can use some more to support him. But I think he is definitely a top five quarterback in the league. I got Sam Darnold at number five. I think he's been total rebirth in his career. He looks really impressive, total control of the offense, looks confident, doesn't ever get rattled. Saw him do it to a number of good teams, including the Steelers. He's legit, and this Seattle is a legit team that can actually make a run in the playoffs, with the talent that they have. So I got him at number five. I got Stafford at number six. One of the great, I wouldn't want to call him a GOAT, but he's a really, really good quarterback and playing really well as well. So I got him at number six. Rodgers, I talked about, leading the league, I think, in touchdowns at number seven. Dak Prescott, I think, right behind him. I got him at number eight, playing lights out. Always, when healthy, he's been in the top 10 conversation every single year that he's played. I got Goff at number nine, and I got Drake May at number 10 to round out my top 10. I think May's played really well, showed a lot of good things. Sure, competition has been great, but he's cleaned up a lot of the mistakes he made last year. He's not turning the ball over like he did. I think how many interceptions he has this year. I think I was projecting him to have about 16 or 17 interceptions this year, and I don't think he's going to hit that at all. He's holding on to the football, taking care of it. That's what he needs to do. That's what's important. So I got him at number 10.
Yeah, basically got all the same guys that you mentioned. I I didn't have Aaron Rodgers. I think instead I put in Jalen Hurts, but I have Baker Mayfield at 1, Daniel Jones at number 2. I think he's having a really great season. Jared Goff, I got a 3. Sam Darnold, again, you mentioned that he just having one of those back-to-back really good season. I don't know why Minnesota didn't just keep him. Matthew Stafford, who I thought initially he was just old, but you know, he has weapons. So as long as he has weapons, he's dangerous. I got Drake May at number 6, Patrick Mahomes at number 7, Josh Allen at number 8. I got Jalen Hurts at number 9 because he just won a Super Bowl, and I know he's not lighting it up as far as like, you know, anything really, but he just wins. He's the winner, so I got him on there. And then I have Dak Prescott, who's having a good season. Is there anybody on this list or outside of this list, Ron, who you are like really disappointed? What's going on? Just off the
guys,
top.
There's a couple guys that I've been like has me scratching my head a little bit. Jaden Daniels, I know he has a lot of number of injuries, but you know when he was healthy, he didn't play well at all. I don't know what's going on with the Houston quarterback either. This is 2 years in a row now that he's taken a step back. So maybe what we're seeing after having like one of the most impressive rookie years ever, maybe these last 2 seasons or the season and a half is really what he is going to be like versus like his rookie year. So that's been a disappointment for sure. Outside of that, I think everyone else is playing as what I kind of expected for the most part. So
I'm a little bit shocked about Caleb Williams because I thought that he was going to really excel with Ben Johnson, and to be honest with you, that win last week, it wasn't because he played well, it was the defense. Obviously CJ Stroud that's 2 years in a row where they haven't figured him out, but I mean, Jaden Daniels, fine, he gets a pass because he got injured, but CJ Stroud and Caleb Williams, I thought they would be like better by now, but it's a new system. But then you can say the same about Drake May. This is a new system, and he's excelling. Yep. So I don't want to say that it's a new system. I know Ben Johnson's supposed to be a genius, so I would think that he would dumb it down for Caleb Williams, but I don't know what's going on. Those two QBs are head scratches to me. Ron,
Caleb's playing pretty well though. He too is not turning the ball over. Only 3 interceptions on the season. I think 15 touchdowns.
No, he's not turning the ball, but I would think his efficiency would be better. His rating would be better. Next week we'll have episode 135. Is there anything you want to say to the Steelers fans out there?
Listen, I know everybody was angry, disappointed the way they played. I think we should have kind of expected it a little bit. Missed out on an opportunity for sure, but if you look at Tomlin's record with bounce back games, especially with this much days rest, I think he's like 9-2 or something like that. So he has a really good record with these type of games. So they'll bounce back this week. They need to be more consistent. They need to be able to make adjustments. And they're going to face Cincinnati again down the road. So we got to hope next time that they play, they match up a little bit better with the receivers and stuff. But right now, let's move on to Green Bay. I think they have a good chance of winning. I assume Green Bay is favored, right? When we went over or was it Pittsburgh that was favored?
Green Bay is favored.
Yeah, but like I said, I think they have a good opportunity here to pull an upset. So, if they win Sunday night, then everything's back to the way it was last week.
Yeah, I think that they'll find a way to win. But let me play devil's advocate, Ron. What happens if they lose?
I think if it depends on how they lose, right? I think this is a much better parameter. And if I see that they come out, they're actually playing hard and lost, then I'd probably be a little concerned because Green Bay, even though they're a good team and have been winning, they haven't been putting up a lot of points. So they've allowed teams to stay in the game. So I need to see how it goes. Wouldn't be the end of the world unless they just showed up disinterested again, like they did, last week, or they get blown out or something like that. Then I'd definitely be concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to wish the Steelers bad juju, but that defense needs to show up. It needs to show up. Like, you guys, Steelers spend a lot of money on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they need to get motivated and show up. For sure. Us with the Patriots, they just need to keep stacking the wins. Because all this is just a setup for them making it to the playoffs and actually winning a game. Now, I don't like the MVP talk, but having said that, Ron, I will admit, I might have wagered a little bit.
You couldn't help yourself.
Listen. Thursday before the Steelers game, I was like, you know what? Not that I had an intuition, because 2020, everything is, Monday Night Quarterback. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, because I think that there was a cash out option with the Baker MVP, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put that cash out money, put it all on Mayfield. Now I know I'm just
on May.
On May, yeah, on Drake.
How much are we talking about, anyways?
Well, I think when I wagered, Baker Mayfield was plus 1,300, and it was like a $10 bet, but I already have made like $60,
mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Yes, it would have been great to win 130, but with that Drake May, I think it was something like plus 2,000. I was like, you know what? Let me just do this. And sure enough, what happened on Monday? Mayfield had a terrible, terrible game. But, like I said, next week, things could change. Could change, but yeah, I was just like, you know what? I made my money. Let me cash out and put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And
finally had a good week this week and actually won something this week. I had a really good parlay out there, and Drake May actually let me down. I think he finished under my yards that I needed by like 15 or 20 or something like that. And then Demarius Douglas too. All I needed was 17.5 yards, and he got 17 exactly. And that screwed me over. I thought he'd have a big game, and he did not. Even though the Patriots put up points, it wasn't him that was really doing anything. It was the other players. But I thought he would be able to break out and bust a huge, reception or something like that, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, when it comes to like players, I really stick to quarterbacks for some reason. I know that there's so many options, but I've been burned too many times by like running back.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just go with quarterbacks. Maybe time to time I'll do receivers, but I get so angry when someone is in the game but they don't get the ball.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, okay, was this part of the game plan? Like, what are they using him as a, like a decoy? I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So I just stick with the quarterback. That would be my tip of the day. Just stick with the quarterback. Okay, so next week, episode 135, and by that time, the virus should be gone. And yeah, we'll see you next week. With that said, I say peace.
Peace.
All right, that's it, guys. That's the end of the show. Thanks so much for all your support and listening today. If you got any questions, comments, feedback, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. That's SYMSPORTSMEDIA@gmail.com. Peace.